Warning, this show contains childish adult content and is intended for immature, mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The views spoken are ours and ours alone, not those of any other bugger. If you're easily offended, we strongly suggest finding another podcast.
Let's put on the show.
Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Dis After Dark, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Dis After Dark. I'm Paul.
And I'm Nick.
And we're your hosts for the next however long we ramble on for until we get bored.
Pretty much.
Absolutely. Welcome aboard, Nick.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
I guess in a Disney theme, what we're trying to do with this podcast is two blokes down a pub talking Disney and Florida and Orlando and all that rubbish.
That's pretty much the size of it.
Yep. So in true pub fashion, in front of me, hang on a minute, that was a bottle of Saint-Omer French wine, brought back from duty free on the way back from Disneyland Paris. That's as close as I can get to a Disney beer.
Well, I'm opening mine now. And mine is a Coors Light.
That's very nice.
And it is an American beer representing Florida.
I don't blame...
That's the most tenuous link I can have.
Absolutely. We'll see how much more tenuous we can get over the upcoming episodes.
We'll manage it, I'm sure.
I'm actually really looking forward to the Mexico evening.
Yes. Bring it on.
Absolutely. So, hopefully, what we're going to plan on giving you is a frank and honest opinion on some of the latest news coming out of Disney, the Orlando theme parks as well.
Yep.
We know that most Disney fans who listen to this, at some point in their life, are planning on going to Disney World. So, yeah. Or, maybe a few of them have even been. So it'll be nice to cover the other parks, a little bit, all that sort of bullshit.
Just to make sure that everyone listening can follow what we're talking about. I think is probably the reason for that, really.
Yeah, why not? Why ever not?
Make everyone feel appreciated.
Absolutely. Are we going to do anything different from other podcasts? We might read the news. We might give a few hints and tips.
Might say shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Say that more. Yeah, I wrote. Like I say, complete bullshit, most of it anyway, so there we go. Right, so that's given you an idea of what we're going to be doing. We're going to ramble on and maybe edit it, maybe not. Hey, we'll see what we feel like.
Yeah,
but,
everyone bothered.
Yeah, but shall we get on with the show?
Certainly.
A view of the news with Dis After Dark.
There we go. That's Voiceover Man and his view on the news.
Very good Voiceover Man, by the way.
He's a professional. He's a very professional Voiceover Man. So what's the first item on the news, Nick?
Well, the first thing we're going to talk about this week is Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. For those that don't know or have not heard of Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom, it's a new interactive game that guests will soon be able to start playing in Walt Disney World. And it's... people are saying it's fairly reminiscent of the Kim Possible Epcot showcase interactive game thing they have there with the little mobile phone devices. Have you ever done that, Paul? The Kim Possible thing?
No, I mean the first time we went out there and it was there was a few years ago on a honeymoon, and really we weren't that interested.
No,
I mean, I even at that time I was wandering around with a first generation sort of smartphone in the pocket, being a techie geeky nerd that I am,
nice.
And being given a 1980s plastic flip open thingy was like, oh, 8-bit colour, fantastic. What do? I wave it in Windows. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure the Sorcerers thing is going to be great fun. I have heard some rumours that it can be a little bit noisy and intrusive, but I think they've got to sort of fine-tune the audio and point the speaker.
Yeah, that's the same with anything like that. When something first starts off, and yes, it is at the moment still in a testing phase. People that are trying it out are literally doing that and are being asked to give feedback afterwards. So, lots of lots of room for scope there to change things. But I don't know. I've personally not done the Kim Possible thing either.
No.
I've seen people go about doing it, and like you say, like the last time I was at Disney World, which was 2010, October 2010, it was there, but we just didn't have the urge to do it. I think it just seemed too kiddified with the mobile phone and everything like that. I don't know if this is going to be the same kind of thing, or if it's going to be more adult friendly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure, because I'm ever so slightly cynical in my advanced years.
Really?
But I think, for a Disney fan, alarmingly cynical, I feel, but you never know. But I think it requires an awful lot of imagination to get away with. You cast spells. Well, no, you don't. You hold a card up. You hold a card in front of a camera. That's not spells. That's fucking Pokemon.
Yes. That hits the nail on the head. It's a glorified Pokemon.
Yeah. In this day and age of the Kinect, even with Disneyland Adventures, you can get away with having some sort of motion tracking. So not only do you have to have a particular card in your hand, why doesn't your hand have to be in a certain position or make a certain gesture? And an interactive moving body spell. Or even, they've been on Dragon's Den before, the old Chimera remote control wands. Why can't you buy one of those? It's infrared. You pay a little price, or you rent it out, and you wave it in a certain pattern, and you point it at the screen. You've cast a spell with a wand.
Yeah.
I mean, what Disney films have we had featuring sorcery? Obviously, there is, again, the cynic comes out, there is a certain degree of Harry Potter envy coming on. We need sorcerers, we need wizards. We've done Fantasyland. It was a bit girly and princess, so we tried to buoy it up by putting two Dumbos next to each other. And
can we talk about that in a second?
Yeah, sure.
That's going to wind me up.
Yeah. They've tried to buoy it up, and it hasn't, in my personal opinion, hasn't particularly become buoyified, but they've then gone sorcerers. It's like, well, I'm trying to think, okay, Disney movies featuring magicians and sorcerers. Sword in the Stone, Merlin. He plays a big role in this. Yep. Jafar was, I guess, a bad wizard of some sort of vizier, or whatever they want to call him.
Yeah, you could argue that, yeah.
I'm trying to think what the various witches that cast spells on Snow White and people like that have been sorcerers.
Come on, you've missed the two obvious things already.
If you're going to say Nick Cage in The Sorcerer's Apprentice, you can fuck off.
Yeah, but come on! That is the obvious answer right there. It's a Disney film.
Yeah,
yes,
you're right.
It's shit, but it's a Disney film
featuring
about sorcerers.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's flopped, I still like the fact that, you know what, that's probably happening in a meeting somewhere, that someone's gone, yeah, that Sorcerer's Apprentice, was obviously banking it to do really well, but it's kind of flopped about a bit. So what have we got lined up for the parks? Oh, this new sorcerers thing? Oh, just let's go for it. That's it. Honestly, like they just don't think of.
Just imagine that you've got your little 6-year-old kid. He takes his Pokemon card out. He waves it at the screen, and Thumper comes on and kicks someone in the nuts. And then he pulls out his another one, and I don't know, Bambi comes on and headbutts someone. And then he gets out another card and he waves it, and Nicolas Cage comes on, selling Batman comics or something.
That does seem to be what trying to convince people he's not a vampire.
Yeah.
From 200 years ago.
Absolutely.
Which I love.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fun to play, but I'll reserve judgment until I've actually played it.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's a chance it could be good. What I've seen of it so far hasn't exactly made me want to book my tickets to fly out over there. Not that I love Disney, and I don't need much excuse to do that. But it's not one of those things I think I need to see now. The closest I've ever done to something like that is when Disneyland California were doing Tron nights, and I was like, I need to be there. And
gotta do that.
Couldn't justify doing it, and now they replace it with fucking Mad Hatter's Tea Party. But that's another rant for another day. But,
at least it's Tim Burton's Mad Hatter's Tea Party, which is kind of one up the scale from.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I mean, a lot more fun. I mean, this is already. We're into like show 1, and already I know that when my wife listens to this, my head's coming off because I'm almost going to slag off the cartoon now, which is one of her favourite Disney films. But yeah, I mean, Johnny Depp's Mad Hatter, something to behold.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what they do with it. But I think the whole thing is I waited for so long to have something to do with Tron at a Disney park. Before I've even got a chance to fly out and see it, it's gone.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing, did you even get to go round on the Tronorail?
You know what? Every time I tried to get on one of those fucking monorails, no Tron. Always saw it. And so I've got some nice pictures of it, and I've got a nice die-cast replica of it sitting above me, but no, didn't get to go on the Tronorail.
Nah. I think I can't even remember if it was... I think we went out the day after it just stopped, so... and they'd stripped off the paint off the side and whatever. Yeah. So there we go. Fantastic. Right. Item number 2. Not a slow news week at all. We just thought we'd cover different articles of news than other people. The beard ban at Disney is no more. After 60 years, cast members can finally grow beards. They still can't have tattoos or piercings, so no one's allowed that looks like they've fallen downstairs and landed in a fishing tackle box.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. I've got a few tattoos down the one side.
Don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, damn right. But with a beard, yeah, it's got to be under 6 millimeters long. It's written, enshrined in their policy. We're allowing you beards, but it's got to be under 6 millimeters long. So, I don't know, Alfie Bowe, for example, he could get a job still working at Disney World. Brian Blessed, out of luck. Which would be a shame, because I think that would be great. Would you really like to be guided onto Splash Mountain by Brian Blessed?
I was thinking monorail.
Oh, touch of
genius. Please say play on the door.
Por favor, Montañas Alejandro de la Puertas. That was rubbish. What was I thinking of?
No, that was... It gets the point across.
Yeah, just shouting. Shout, and shout some more. That would be absolute genius. But I've now got this vision of the bloke who stands next to the time clock in the morning, clocking the workers on and clocking them off in the evening, with a small measuring stick, a bit like a tyre depth gauge.
Well, I was thinking more like when you said that, because I saw the story. I'm a man of facial hair. Well, I've recently gone from full face to pencil thin moustache.
Oh, very nice.
In honour of the artist, a little tufty bit under the lip.
Well, I think in order of the artist formerly known as Prince, we get in here, because that...
No, the film The Artist.
Oh, fine.
Look as good as the artist formerly known as Prince.
Right. I don't know, has he got a pencil-thin moustache? Because I was thinking of Jimmy Buffett, who did a song called Pencil-Thin Moustache.
You know, I'd never even heard of that song until I was Googling pictures of pencil-thin moustache. I was like, why does he keep saying lyrics?
Yeah.
Bless him. Yeah, all I can imagine when she was talking about this and saying about the measurement of the beard is, you know, the things you get in front of the attractions saying you've got to be this tall to ride. Those kind of like horizontal.
Yeah, your beard must be this long to work here.
Yeah, and if they say on the line and the beard touches like the marker, then that's it. They've got to shave it.
Oh dear.
But the fact someone's actually got to do that—that's mental. And they must employ someone to do that. There must be someone doing that.
I've just got the traditional tyre depth gauge that the police use to see whether your tyres are bald or not.
Yep.
What does this do? This checks whether you're classified as chin bald or not. I have to admit, occasionally I get lazy and just grow a bit of a beard, but it is out of complete laziness. Last time I went for a full one was I had a Hulk Hogan for Movember.
Oh, beautiful.
And then because it was getting cold in the winter, I extended it into Beardcember. I didn't do it for charity because there isn't such a thing, but I thought I might start one.
No.
One of the guys at work decided that before Movember he would actually have Choptober.
Choptober.
So we had, between October and December in the office, we had a veritable array of facial hair.
Facial hair. None
of which would probably meet Disney standards.
No. Well, saying that though, because one thing that came out of reading some of the articles about this thing, yes, there is more than one people if you want to go and look it up, is the fact that since 2000, they lifted the ban on moustaches. So it wasn't a complete ban on facial hair. and so that, and then when I heard that to me was even more bizarre. That you can't have a goatee beard, or you can't have a beard. That's too scruffy. But yeah, go for the moustache.
Does that mean they meet specific Movember regulations as well? For any blokes who have ever done that, you'll know what I mean. But for women who are wondering what the heck we're talking about, Movember's a charity thing where men grow moustaches.
Women can join him. Women can join him.
They're more than I know a few that probably could.
Yes, there you go.
They haven't They haven't actually specified that in the rules. I don't know if they've actually said women can grow beards. And given the age group of some cast members, bollocks to it. If it was the fact that they've lifted this ban on facial hair completely, that'd be one thing and rejoice. Yeah. But the fact that they technically for the last 12 years now would have been able to have actually grown some facial hair. It's just bizarre. I don't get it. Did they have rules when a moustache stops being a moustache and becomes a beard, or it can't join at the sides?
Yeah, like Fu Manchu.
Yeah, or
it's only to grow Fu Manchu.
Yeah. I mean, the Magnum is perfectly acceptable.
Yes.
The Hogan is unacceptable.
Possibly.
I don't know. They must have had a chart on the wall as well.
Beards of the world.
Yeah.
Just different beards.
Beards and mows of the world. This is not allowed.
I will say this, actually, thinking about this a bit more, because there's going to be some logic behind this. There must be some logic. All I can think of, and it's not a Disney property, but so it's a bit tenuous, bear with me. The Simpsons.
Yeah.
No one really has a beard. Like, I think Homer's supposed to have a beard, but it just looks like his lips or whatever. But Ned Flanders' moustache.
Yeah, true.
And he was seen as the good Christian, the one that everyone should have looked up to instead of the characters in The Simpsons that everyone looks up to instead. So maybe that was it. Maybe they saw a wholesome person and thought, moustaches must mean wholesome.
Absolutely.
Must be
right like that. Although perhaps, I don't know, Dwarf Equality from the Seven Dwarfs pointed out that for the last 60 years, at least 3 of the 7 dwarfs have had beards.
That is true.
And they haven't escorted them out of the park.
No.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you can only meet Snow White and the 4 dwarfs the day the other 3 aren't allowed to come into work.
They've been stopped outside.
Their beards are over 6 millimetres long. Oh dear. And we've degenerated. Right, what's next on the agenda?
Well, hold on to your hats, people. If you don't know already, the cruise line is heading back to Europe.
And to be honest, we're so behind the times here and out of date with this recording, they probably do know already.
They do know. They're probably booked.
Yeah.
They've probably booked their places. It's it tends to go a bit mental when people talk about the cruise and can't wait as soon as it gets released so you can buy your spots on the boat. That's it. People go for it. I've not been on a Disney cruise. I don't have a thing against cruise ships, except for obviously that thing that happened in Italy the other week, which isn't obviously the best thing to happen. I'm sure it won't stop people going, but I don't know. I've seen some of the prices that these cruises are going to cost, and you're looking at the same cost of like a trip to Florida for a family.
Yeah.
I think if I had the choice of going to sunny Orlando for 2 weeks, with Disney World and your water parks and your studios and Epcot and your SeaWorld and Universal and the food and shows and everything that's out there, for the same price of going on a 7-night cruise around the Mediterranean, fuck it. I'm not doing that.
No, I can see the point. I mean, I've not been on anything the size of the Disney boats, but I have had a couple of 3-day, well, not really work jollies. They were conferences on board a boat, and we sailed from Southampton to Guernsey and back again over the course of 3 days. Never actually getting off the boat on a couple of P&O boats. It's surprising how much is drunk on those those jollies.
Yes.
So I don't really remember much, but I remember pulling up, parking in the Southampton Docks car park, looking up at the boat and thinking, Jesus H. Christ, that is fucking enormous. And after 3 days on a boat of not actually being able to get off, it's like a reverse TARDIS. It's a negative TARDIS. You look at it from the outside and it is enormous. 3 days on the fucking boat and the walls were closing in.
Yeah.
I was stir crazy.
Yeah.
And I even had a window on the side.
Yes, if you didn't.
I think, oh my God. I guess they do a lot of things. So even if you are inside the boat, you get the magic portholes, and occasionally Nemo goes past and Ariel swims past and that sort of thing. So there's a lot more to do. They're bigger boats. At some point in the future, I have to admit, I do want to do one. I'd like to take my girls, let them play on the ship, give them an idea of what a ship is. Take them. It might be a bit better, I'd imagine, if you can actually go somewhere and get off the boat, have a day trip somewhere, get back on the boat. At that point, it's like a floating hotel that you only go back to swim and to sleep, and maybe get something to eat. But yeah, I'm not sure I could do 4 days at sea or something like that. No.
I'm not totally against the idea. I've seen what you can get on some of these cruise ships. I'm not sure what the one that we're getting back here is. What is it? A Wonder? I think it is.
It's the Magic, isn't it? Isn't it the Magic coming back? Because I thought the headline was.
Oh, the Magic and Wonder.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah. What it says. That can't be right. There's going to be. I must be reading like some dodgy article. Even out the beers kicking in too quickly. But Disney Magic to Europe. Yeah. Okay. So
bringing the magic back or whatever.
That's right. Yes. I don't know why it must be the one because they've announced a Wonder at the same time. So it must be that. Yeah. But that's obviously doing the American version.
It kind of followed the. I don't know. The last time I saw anything like it, Universal did it when they were doing something with a news release. It's like, oh, here's a clue. Here's a photo. Oh, we're releasing photos. Someone very cleverly did a bit of research, and we saw it on DisneyBrit's website when I first saw it, or on a tweet, on some Twitter feed. I saw it, and it was like, we've done research. There is a ship bearing the ship identification number or whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
Of the same number as the Disney Magic, and it's booked into Madeira. And it's like, okay. At that point, there was like, oh yeah, here, have some photos. I don't want fucking photos. Just tell me where the shit you are going.
Yep.
Okay? Just release it.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's a clue.
Oh, just teasing. Oh, get on with it.
Get on with it. Just let me know. Just tell me where you're going, for God's sake. At some point, I'm definitely going to go on one. A lot of people give a lot of good responses to it. The food is meant to be spectacular, but again, I'll be with you if I've got the money and I get a choice of going to Disney World, Orlando, or going on a boat for 11 nights. Sorry, land wins.
Yeah, and the only thing on that, and maybe that is part of the problem, is the fact that when you can get the cruise in, does it leave Miami and it goes around the Bahamas?
Yeah, something like that.
You can have that tacked onto your Disney World trip. And when you look at that, I mean, it's only like a small cruise anyway. I think it's about I think you have 3, 4, and 5 nights or something. So it's not a particularly long cruise, but you do see like the Bahamas and everything that's like that. It's lovely. But the cost of that, I think, a 4-night trip on that is about $600-700. And if that was the same, if you could go on that length of cruise here for, about £400 or £500, then I think, I'd take a punt on that.
I'm trying to think where 4 days would take you.
What, around Europe?
Board at Southampton, you'd probably end up round the coast of Spain. That's about it.
Well, looking at the because I've got the itinerary here, and it seems to start in Barcelona, so I'm guessing you'd fly from Southampton or something.
Yeah,
start there.
Bournemouth, Gatwick, wherever.
Yeah, and like the 5-day one, you start in Barcelona, hit Monte Carlo, Cannes, Nice in France. Day 3, you're at sea completely, so you obviously see nothing at all, except water. A bit like that film.
Yeah, you do get to play around in the boat and look at the pictures and do that. Is the midship detective agency or some?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's like, because I think this Disney ship is a bit older than the other two, so I don't know if it's got all the fabulous features that the Wonder has and the Dream.
And it hasn't got the water slide, has it?
No, it definitely hasn't got the water slide. So I mean, that's already like a minus thing. But
at that point, you are quite glad that it's not off the coast of Southampton and is actually down in Barcelona and around the Med. Because I'm in a glass tube out over the side of a ship in the Solent. With due apologies to anyone who lives in Hampshire and goes boating. Of
course, we don't mean to offend you. But,
yeah, we fucking do.
But I mean, my dad won't fly, so to this, and the reason I only went to Orlando when I was in my early 20s ish was because me and my now wife decided to go, and they'd never taken when I was a kid, so I went to Disneyland Paris, never went to America. And my dad's really desperate to go, but he won't get on a plane. But he's like, I'm definitely going to go on a Q2 one day, and I'm going to, go to New York and spend some time in America. And that crossing takes about 2 weeks. So can you imagine, like you were saying, like after a few days, you was going a bit stir crazy.
Yeah.
I know, like the Q2's like a massive boat, and there's loads of things to do. But if I couldn't get off,
I'd be bouncing off the walls.
Yeah. Yeah, that I mean, it's the fact of not being able to get off. It's knowing that you're stuck. No matter how big it is, it's like if you're housebound, if you get some neurovirus or something and you're told to be quarantined in your own house.
Yeah.
After a couple of days, you're going to go mad.
There's only so much porn you could download. There's only so much hard drive space you've got. Fantastic. Right, and the fourth and final article we were going to discuss today is about Disneyland Paris' 20th anniversary. Turning 20. Young buck.
It is.
And what are they doing for it? They're doing a water and lights show.
You're not doing it justice, but you're not really selling it, Paul. You're not really selling it.
Yeah, I don't do sales.
That's where I come. That's my aesthetic.
Yeah, you can do the sales, but I do it's a light show. I'm kind of, if it's anywhere near as beautiful as World of Colour is, it will be grand. And it will be great to get out there. We were out there in November for a few days, and it was undergoing an awful lot of refurbishment. I hope it's for the 20th. Anyone who heard your Mousecast trip report will know I was less than impressed with it in November. So I really hope they're doing an awful lot of work on it, and I believe they are, because it is going to be stunning. Yeah,
I think it is for guns blazing, and I was funny enough out there for Halloween, and pretty much like you, anyone that heard my report on DisneyBrit, I wasn't very impressed with what they were doing. I didn't really talk too much about the things that were being set up, which is what they're mainly concentrating on now, but that was still going on at the time as well. To be honest, I think I'm just used to every time I go to Paris, something's being done. Something's been done up.
Something's got a board round there.
Exactly. They fucking love a board round there.
They do, yeah, absolutely.
It's obviously a French thing.
Yeah.
There's a bit of space, stick a board in it. Plant a fucking tree.
Yeah,
do something. It's mental.
I mean, at least they've learnt their lesson and have actually passed some information away rather than just wait till the 20th and then.
It does, mate.
Oh yeah, we forgot to tell you we were doing this.
Well, I mean, there's a lovely YouTube video that's going about an official Disney Land Paris one, which, like you say, actually reveals something for once, because we're used to getting fuck all from them.
Yeah.
And as any decent Disney advert does, it makes it look brilliant. It makes it look like something you would actually want to go out of your way to go and see.
Is that the one that also features footage from World of Colour and isn't necessarily the box? I know there was that one doing the rounds a little while ago as well.
I don't know, because I have seen videos of World of Colour, and it didn't look as big, which is why I thought it was something it was like a dry run they were doing. Well, it's not a dry run, it uses water,
yeah.
The
proverbial dry run.
Complete crap.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. There we go.
Drink number 2.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, the video did make it look good. It had projection mapping on the castle. I'm guessing Disneyland Paris, like always, is behind the times on that. I've not seen proper projection mapping used on a castle in Disneyland or Disneyland Paris, or Disney World, but I'm guessing that they're probably doing that at one park somewhere in the world already.
Yeah.
And it does look very impressive. I mean, digital mapping's, done in the right way. The effects can be stunning, and they're going to go all out on this. It is their 20th anniversary.
I know they're doing it on the castle in Walt Disney World in Magic Kingdom.
Right. Yeah.
As a sort of a pre-wishes show. It's got a posh name, and I really can't remember it.
No, but I mean that's the thing. They've taken that side of things from Disney World. They've taken something that's based on World of Colour from California. That's to be honest, that's good. That sounds good to me because it's always lacking. I hate the fact that when I go to Disneyland Paris, if I'm there at the wrong time of year, there are no fireworks.
Yeah. And the wrong time of year is just about every day between Monday and Friday.
Yeah, and the fact as well that some parts of the year, like you're out of the park by 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
6 o'clock, it's mental.
Well,
no wonder people don't like going to Disneyland Paris. I mean, I think it's pretty good, and the fact it's near is good, and it gives you a bit of a quick Disney fix, but so many things wrong. But I just before Christmas, I got a book about Disneyland Paris when it first opened, Euro Disney, of course. And I went the year it opened. I went about 2 months after it opened, so everything was still fresh and new and lovely and everything like that. And reading this book, it is scary how close it came to going bust. It really. So the fact that it's made it to now, is a testament. Especially as there's still a fair few things that are wrong with the park.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's it's not a statement I like to make, but it's a true one. There's a lot of things I need to do there. Fantastic.
I agree. It's taking a lot of work. It's going to need quite a bit of love, and it's getting it at the moment, which is nice to see. And I'm looking forward to making my way out there this year. And no doubt I will, despite all my grumbling and mumbling and cynicism.
I think I have to, to be honest, there's two, you've got Disneyland Paris 2020, and I've, got the Olympics on our doorstep in London, and I know which one I'm more excited for.
Yeah, damn straight. Straight. Fantastic. Anyway, that's just about covered the news. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Shall we cover some question of the day?
Yeah, bring it on.
I'll tell you what I mean by it.
Question of the day. What's the FAQ?
With this section, I thought we'd maybe get some questions that people have asked us, and eventually, when people start asking us questions via email or Twitter or Facebook or wherever, we'll cover some questions people ask. But a question that I very often get asked is, isn't Disney just for kids? I think we've proved by this podcast, really, that it isn't.
I hope so.
And the fact that yourself and the wife have, you've got a dog, haven't you?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Not kids at the moment.
No.
Flynn doesn't come with you to Disney World.
You know what? I'd imagine he'd love to. I mean, he's only a puppy, bless him. He's named after a Disney character. And let me point out, when I called him Flynn, it wasn't because of Tangled. It was definitely because of Tron. So that's not to take away. Tangled is one of the better modern films, in my opinion. But hey, but no, he's definitely named after Tron. And I'm sure he'd love it. But until they lift the restriction on, they've only just let us take wear beards in working with Disney. So a while before they let dogs in, I imagine.
Yeah, as long if he's short-haired, it's under 6mm, you should be all right.
Actually, at the moment, because he is a puppy, he is very short, so maybe he'd just scrape him.
So, a bearded collie. Never get in. Anyway, no, isn't Disney just for kids? I usually answer that one with, yeah, absolutely. If I'm talking to a couple that haven't got kids and they're thinking of going and they're asking me, I usually answer, yeah, absolutely, just for kids. Don't ever go on your own as a grown adult. The reason I tell them that is because the less people that are there, the quicker the queues go and the more rides I can get on.
Yep.
But in all honesty, there's plenty to do for adults. Absolutely plenty. There are places to drink, dance. There used to be a place to dance in Disneyland Paris, but that was Hurricanes. I never, ever actually went there.
to be honest, I don't think anyone ever actually went there, which is why it's
not
just
there.
an empty building.
Yeah.
Because I know every time from the age I was old enough to legally, and you don't want to get deported from France, but from that age I was legally allowed to go in there. I never once had the urge to go. So that must explain a lot. Maybe it's a crappy French music they play. I don't know.
Yeah. When you went out to Walt Disney World, did you ever make it to Pleasure Island? Was that open?
Pleasure Island. The first time we went was in 2007. First time we went together was 2007. So we was at the idle age for that kind of thing, early 20s. And to be honest, we had fun going around Pleasure Island, but none of it really. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what the clubs were. No. So there's a place called the Adventurers Club. That to me screams kids club. Yeah. And by that I mean your Butlins or your caravan park, kids club. 2 hours.
Put the kids in there. Well, without actually knowing what it was, and
and that's it. So without knowing what the Adventurers Club was, I had absolutely no interest. And people obviously have a lot of fond memories about it, and I wish I'd gone for the experience, but never did. And I mean there is quite a lot of things. There's live even now, because we went in 2010 just after it all closed down. And there was live music, and obviously there's places to eat outside, and you had people doing magic shows outside, and you've got cigar bars in downtown Disney, and and stuff like that around Pleasure Island. So that part of it passed by, and that's a shame. But I mean that especially, it is an adults thing.
Yeah, if you're not even staying on site, I suppose you've got City Walk with bars, clubs, things to do of an evening.
You're not
always going to be completely knackered after a day in the park.
No, that's it. And I the only thing that annoys me about the fact that they've closed it down and decided to do something with it, and in typical Disney fashion, then decide they're not going to do that after and just leave it a mess, is the fact that it was, as you say, it was something that people that weren't staying on property, in fact, weren't even going to Disney World, or had passes that had run out or whatever, because people generally don't have passes for the entire time they're there, was still able to access. And it was always busy. And it was busy last year, busy in 2010 when we last went. And that had none of the clubs open. It was still busy. There were still people there because there's all these places to eat, places to drink, you get your cinema, you've got all these things to do around there. So it always attracted the crowd. And I just don't understand why they just close all the clubs down. They must, they never looked empty. There was always people queuing to go in them. So I don't understand it.
No, I think any Disney fan, or any grown-up adult Disney fan, when faced with the question, "Isn't Disney just for kids?" is probably going to answer, "Of course, it's bloody not. It's for everyone."
I think it's just stock answer though, to make yourself feel better before stock answer on you. But
because no one's going to go, "Actually, no, it's just for being a really childish idiot." So. Yeah. But
the thing is, I know a lot of adults, when I go to work and talk to people, and they obviously know I'm into this and everything like that, you get some people that know what you're talking about or understand why you like that, or why you do certain things like that. And then you get other people that just think, "You're fucking mental. How old are you? Like almost there. What do you mean you want to go to Disney World? Or what do you mean, you're doing this? And,
are you going there again?"
Yeah. What do you mean you want to do a Disney podcast? Well, it was like, because that's one of my interests.
Yeah.
But you're way too old for that. People, you either get it or you don't. I think that is pure and simple. You either get it or you don't.
Damn right.
And if it's not for you, fuck off.
Absolutely. Leave us alone. Which leads nicely into the next one. A follow-up from the nice, good question of the day is...
It's time for the Dumbass Question of the Day.
Yep, it's a section we're calling Dumbass Question of the Day, because we've all seen them, whether we've been asked them in person or whether we've seen them on forums or in Facebook groups. The stupid Disney question. So we're going to give you a stupid Disney question that we've seen at some point, and then we'll tell you why we think it's stupid. And today's dumbass question is, what's the cheapest way to get to Disneyland Paris? Now, do you agree that that's a stupid question, Nick?
in today's day and age, definitely, yes.
I'm glad you agree, because a lot of people would think, oh, no, that's a good question. But I think it's daft on the grounds that everyone has the internet. And if you've downloaded a podcast or you've been to a forum or a web, you probably have the internet. It's very difficult to do any of those things without it.
Yep.
And Google is fairly ubiquitous. But also, I tend to get asked that question by people who don't actually listen to you anyway. Do you ever find that?
Yeah, all the time. It's amazing that, as I said, now, and like you pointed out, people listening to this would have done so on the internet. The easiest way to find out any of this information is via the internet, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out, really.
No, I mean that's one reason for thinking it's daft. The other reason is because whoever asked it has usually spectacularly failed in actually giving any details about the question, like where the fucking hell they're starting from. That's usually quite important in answering a sort of travel-based question. For example, if you ask what's the easiest way and cheapest way to get to Disneyland Paris, and you happen to be standing in, I don't know, somewhere just outside of Calais, one could answer, oh, that was posh, wasn't it? One could answer. You could answer, have you tried cycling?
Nice.
Cycling's fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have got the initial outlay of the bike.
Oh, but if you've already got a bike.
If you've already got a bike, yeah, it's fairly cheap. If you haven't got a bike and you still want to save that £100 for a cheap Halfords jobby, you can always try walking and hitchhiking. And that goes to anywhere. I mean, what's the cheapest way to get to Disneyland Paris? Where are you from? Just north of Glasgow. Well, okay. That's a different answer to the cheapest way is if you're from just south of Dover.
Yep.
One might be cheaper to fly, one might be cheaper to drive, one might be cheaper to go on the ferry from Dover, one might be cheaper to go, I don't know, Hull, Ostend, and drive down the rest of the way. But that's driving. That's still paying for petrol. Right? I've heard other podcasts, and they're usually quite clever when it comes to actually giving a proper, realistic answer to this. But
boring.
Yeah, that's not what we're about.
No.
Right, so here you go. I'm going to give you the situation. I am from, let's pick somewhere random. I am from Cardiff. I want to know, what is the cheapest way for me to get to Disneyland Paris and spend 3 nights there? Right, here we go. There's the challenge. I reckon I can do it for free. I reckon if you hitchhike from down to Dover and then grease yourself up with, apparently it's goose fat, swim the channel,
right,
then steal a tent.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take quite long. You're going to have to walk down, camp in every couple of nights, because you can't walk for longer than 48 hours at a time.
No.
Get down to Paris, camp. Right? There's plenty of roundabouts, plenty of side verges. Don't have to pay for any sort of upkeep or anything like that.
No.
Now, obviously, we could go the proper answer here and say, you've got to pay for your tickets. But, I know you mentioned off of the recording that Paris has a shortage of ropes.
It certainly does. Well, Disneyland Paris especially has a shortage of ropes.
Yeah.
Without question.
They can't put any in the queues for the meet and greets.
No.
So they obviously haven't got any that go around the outside of the park. It's going to be just walk on, isn't it?
It's going to be.
Yeah. Go around the side.
People.
Yeah. Just for the record, we're not advising this. So please, Disneyland Paris, don't revoke our passports.
We're not.
No, we're just saying, if you're going to do it for free...
Oh, right, yeah. No, like, if you wanted to do that, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
that's
that
entirely
sense.
your choice. We're not advising you to, at all.
Okay.
But if you wanted to get in for free, I'm sure you just, go around the side. Right?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of what you've said is good and makes a lot of sense, and I think it's reasonable enough. The problem I've got with the swimming across the channel, that's the only thing I'm not too sure about swimming across the channel. I do like the people that cling themselves to the bottom of vans or manage to break into vans and smuggle their way across like the shuttle or the ferry.
Yeah, I've seen it in films.
Yeah.
I've seen Indiana Jones, that bloke with a hat on the bottom of vans before now.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
all you've got to do is find an old World War II Nazi van, hang on the bottom. Yeah.
They do tend to be the best ones for that as well.
So
if you're not looking for a van, rather than just go for like the biggest one or the newest one, try and go for the World War II Nazi one.
Absolutely.
They must have some special grip
or something. Yeah. That always works in the films. Although I could thoroughly advise probably against trying to upmarket a bit and not trying to cling on the bottom of a Lamborghini Diablo.
Yeah, you'd be lucky to get underneath one of those anyway.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
If it's going in the Eurostar though, you're a bit stuck because it goes up some steep ramps.
Also, am I not right in thinking that that's how Tom Cruise got from France to England for free in Mission Impossible? Because didn't he?
Right.
He clinked the Euro. Well,
yeah, he went Euro. He went
Eurostar, wasn't he?
Yeah, he went Eurostar, didn't he, rather than Eurotunnel? Yeah. He went on the front, if I'm not mistaken.
He ended up on the front.
Yeah,
but I don't think at any point he ended up in it.
Yeah, so there's plenty of ways to get there cheaper. I think in all seriousness, though, it's still a stupid question because you have to listen to the answer. The amount of times I've been off, you can give stupid answers like that, and chances are they're not going to listen because it doesn't matter. They go,
Yeah, totally. I think the fact is, people, if you want a cheap way of getting to Disneyland Paris, don't go with the first thing you see. That that's probably the most sensible way I can answer that question. If you see one price, compare it against something else, see which one's cheaper. That's it.
That's all you got to do. It's not rocket science.
Nope.
Fantastic.
There are no stupid questions, just stupid people.
Well, I think that's covered that, and I'm sure in the future we'll have plenty more stupid questions where that came from.
I hope so.
In fact, we positively invite them. You can find us at www.disafterdark.com. You can email us at podcast@disafterdark.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. And as more and more social networks come around, you'll probably find us there as well as we whore ourselves out.
Yeah, I've not got on Google Plus yet, but give me a couple of weeks. I'm sure I'll figure out some way of making that work as well.
Oh, yeah, Google Plus. I forgot that existed. Yeah,
everyone else has.
I've got it. I've got to log on for it somewhere. Yeah. Excellent. Right. Well, I thought at this time I've done an awful lot of talking. It's about time we gave Nick his own little slot, if you'll pardon the expression. And hunting around for a name for it, we came up with Soap Dishes Soapbox. In future editions, I'm actually going to ask Nick where the fuck Soap Dish came from, but not right. But not right now. Save that one.
You've got to save the good stuff for later on.
We'll call that a teaser.
Yes. Yes.
That's a teaser. We'll go on for as long as possible, just calling you Soap. I haven't even got a trailer for this one, so I'm just gonna make one up right here, right now. Are you nearly ready, Nick?
I'm on it.
Right, here we go.
Go for it.
It's Soap Dishes Soapbox!
At my signal.
I don't think I could ask for a better introduction than that.
I try. I'll get you a proper one done. You're on your own, fella.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well,
as any of you that know me already would know about me, and for those that don't know me, you'll soon find this out, so I'm going to tell you, I am a huge fan of Barnelmation. I know this is already. I knew this was going to happen. This is probably one of the few things me and Paul don't see eye to eye. Well, probably that and the fact we're different heights. But the fact is, I do love a Barnelmation, and I have got quite a ridiculous collection. And please find me on Facebook. You can see pictures of some of the collection. It is quite ridiculous and scary. But the majority of the Barnelmations that me and my wife have collected thus far have come via America. The reason for that is UK Barnelmation is pretty rubbish. It has started to pick up a little bit of steam recently, and is getting a bit of momentum. People are starting to pick up a bit more on it now, and I think the fact as well that because so many people have gone to Florida, gone to Paris, and picked up some of these little Mickey Mouse figurines, they've got a bit of the bug, find out a bit more about where to get them from and what they are and things like that. And, you know, everyone goes to eBay, but slowly but surely they are becoming more and more apparent in UK stores. So this, in some ways, is great news if you're a Vinylmation collector in the UK, because, you know, you can just go down to your local Disney store or venture into one of the bigger ones that might be out of town for you. But you can buy Vinylmations at the same kind of cost they'd cost you in America, minus the shipping and any nasty custom fees. The problem remains, though, however, that nobody that works in a Disney store, or very few people, seem to know what the hell they are, and especially how to sell them. This means that most of the time when you go and try and buy one of these little boxes, and they are, if you don't know already, in a blind box, you don't know what you've got until you've opened it. But luckily, somebody has got there before you and tried to open the box to find the little silver foil inside that contains the figure. This is because no one explains to anybody. There's no signs up or anything. That the idea is you buy your box and then you open it and then you find out what you got. So the stores are now full of damaged boxes, and that's if they know how to display them at all. So although, as I say, on the one hand, it's great because it means we can buy them at affordable prices and they're quite readily available. At the same time, people still aren't educated that work for Disney as to what the hell they're supposed to do with them. So I've contacted the Disney Store president of Worldwide. He's alerted to the fact other podcasts have also done similar things to try and get him to better educate the UK sales force on these kind of things. But at this moment in time, UK Vinylmation is very much in a bit of a twilight zone period. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if the new releases are going to keep coming, if they're going to start stopping them. We've got no idea. It's a complete roller coaster. So all I can say is that because I am trying to be a voice of UK Vinylmation, please keep following us at Dis After Dark. On the website, obviously, this lovely podcast you listen to with the amazing Paul and myself. Twitter, Facebook, this is where I will keep people updated with news as and when I find it. So if that is something that is of interest to you, then please follow me.
Well, thank you very much.
That's it.
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity.
That's just my Vinylmation thing.
I know. You know what? If that had come at any part of the show, I still would have felt the same way about it. Which is fair play, sir. I have to admit, some Vinylmation has. I want to be a man of my word, and I like to think that I'm not a Vinylmation. I don't get it. Perhaps it's something you have to get, and I don't get it. And I'm sure at some point, like any other podcasters out there, you know who you are, boys, who are anti-Vinylmation for a moment and then switch sides. At some point, I'm going to have to, and I know why. Now, anyone who's heard me and Nick before, you may well have come across us, and this is a bit, we go Simpsons again. Hi, you may have seen us from such shows as DisneyBrit Idol. Well, we were on the DisneyBrit Idol as contestants together. Nick got slightly further than I did, so I went all sour grapes and started a new podcast and invited Nick to join me. No such thing as sour grapes. Disney Spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. Hang on. Here we go. That's 4. Right, but we were on this. As part of my slightly jokey campaign, I put a little picture up of a Vinylmation figure with a glow lamp next to it with "Vote for me or the Vinylmation gets it." And I didn't get through to the final 3. So, as being a man of my word, I actually had to go down to the local Disney store, and I actually purchased with my own money a Vinylmation. And I got the video camera out, and there's a footage of me on YouTube opening the Vinylmation up and then putting it under a circular saw and attempting to cut it in half. Now, hey, I'm a man of my word. It was just a little bit of fun, but I thought, well, I'm going to do it. Why not? So I did it. I got the circular saw out. The saw blades dug in to the Mickey head, separated the head from the body. The body flew across my garden, through my fence, made a nice hole in my fence. Not a comedy Mickey-shaped hole, which would have been great. But
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, a hole in my fence. completely, luckily, by about a foot, missing my neighbour's greenhouse. It could have been an expensive vinylmation. And to top it all, as I was editing the video, my 5-year-old daughter was going, "What's that?" She saw the bit where I was unpacking it. "Oh, that's cute. I want to what's that Mickey Mouse toy, Daddy? Have you still got it?" No. "Can I have one?" I didn't have the heart to show her the rest of the video because I just knew full well it would make her cry as Daddy saw Mickey Mouse in half with a power saw. So at some point I'm going to have to go down and buy another one just to give to her to say, "Yeah, no, look, I've had it all along, darling." Lying to 5-year-olds.
The difference is, though, Paul, I mean, as you said, you were a man of your word. You said you was going to do this, and you did it, and everyone's going to respect you for that. What you're now talking about is buying something for your daughter.
Yeah, I can get
and
away
that's
with that.
Completely different to buying something for yourself.
And I had the only ones that really, really, I think we'll save the I don't get it discussion for another day. But the ones that really I do actually quite take a shine to are the blank ones. If I could just walk in and buy blank ones constantly. I know you can get them, but I've never seen them in a Disney store. And if you know of if any of the listeners out there know of a Disney store that sells the blank ones, that I don't have to order them from the States because I can't be arsed really to dick about with all that. I just want to go and buy one, paint it up, even actually get the power saw back out again. Now I know I can correctly do it, saw it in half, and make custom ones. I want to do a Damien Hirst. I want half a vinylmation in formaldehyde, or just something daft and modern art like that, or even all these custom painters I've never heard of doing ones that are like from Mickey films. No, do they do? Is there one available with Edvard Munch's The Scream?
No, but I mean, why not do one?
That'd be great. Because it'll be crap. You haven't seen my painting. Last thing I painted was little Citadel Dungeons and Dragons figures several years ago.
Oh yeah, but that's quite skillful.
Yeah, I was.
That is quite skillful.
Yeah, I was crap at it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Right.
Fantastic. Anyway, that is pretty much bringing us to the end of the show.
Oh,
I know it has just flown by, or it has seemed to.
Yes,
it seems like it's only taken 20 minutes.
It does. In some ways, it does feel like that.
Yeah, that's. Shall I be honest? It's because I fucked up and we actually recorded half of it yesterday, and then my digital recorder ran out of memory.
Trade secrets.
What the hell? Yeah, maybe next. Now I've switched from a 1 gig card to a 32 gig card. We can do a 24-hour podcast without running out of steam. But oh god, that would take an awful lot of beer.
The thing is, I was just like when you said I've upgraded the memory card, I was just assuming you'd gone from as most people would do, 1 gig to 2 gig. Or something like that. You got 1 to 32.
Well, I beat around the bush because they didn't have any 64s in the shop.
Okay.
Excellent.
Right.
Well, we've gone through the ways of reaching us. www.disafterdark.com, podcast@disafterdark.com. We're on Twitter, Dis After Dark. I suppose correctly that is @Dis After Dark, but you'll find us on Discord and you'll find us on Facebook. Friend us up there.
And we're both on Facebook as well.
Yeah, we are ourselves. I've now got 3 different Facebook windows open with different logins from me. I sometimes Twitter from the wrong account as well because I really have lost track of what accounts I've got everywhere. Fantastic. I wonder if I say fantastic too much. I'll have to listen back to this, but I can't be asked to edit it.
I don't. Look, everyone needs a catchphrase.
Absolutely. And I say absolutely too much. I know that. I will stop doing that. That's my word to you. But it only happens after several beers, and I am on number 4 right now.
Yeah. And I mean, that's another reason to finish the show.
Absolutely. It is about right to finish the show.
Absolutely messed.
We hope to see you in a fortnight's time.
Yep.
Thank you very much for listening, dear listener.
Yes. Dear listener. We're going to have more than that, surely.
I know, but I read a book on podcasting and radio broadcasting, and it's good to treat your listener as someone special. You pretend you only have one, and you're talking to that listener.
Every listener is the only right. I get you. Yeah,
that's the professional way of doing it, apparently. So, can I just say that colour really suits you?
Oh, and your hair today looks amazing.
Right, should we piss off now?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. This has been Dis After Dark.
Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Dis After Dark, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
And we're out.
There are no stupid questions, just stupid people.